Welcome to May and another episode of the show that discusses the hottest three topics in New York sports each week. It is the New York Sports Rapid Rundown, and Big Apple sports are on fire right now as we move forward in the fifth month of the year. And joining me to kick off this month is a host for Infinity Sports Network. It's David Shepard, also known as the Good Shepherd. The Good Shepherd is here with me. What's going on, man?
Man, it's great to be with you, Dexter Henry. I love the digs, man. It's spring, so I felt like I'd underdressed, so I'm sorry for being underdressed compared to you, but it's great to be with you.
No. You're comfortable. We have everybody come up here and be comfortable. That is what we do on the New York Sports Rapid Rundown. Are you comfortable?
I'm more comfortable that the Knicks are looking the way they are. I'm more comfortable with the Rangers looking the way that they are, so you're damn right I'm comfortable.
Okay, so you know what we got to get into. We got so much to get into this week, Dave. As the Yankees, they did not have the best of times down in Baltimore. They fell out of first place in the American League East. The New York Rangers, as Dave just mentioned, they're set to start their second-round series with the Hurricanes after sweeping the Capitals. But first up, you heard Dave mention it. It's orange and blue, everything. Those are the vibes right now on Thursday. The Knicks, they knocked off the Sixers in Game 6, first-round series, 118-115. They advanced to the second round of the NBA playoffs for the second straight year, Dave. What does the series win over the Sixers mean for the franchise? And do you like this core of this Knicks team in the future for them as they move forward?
I don't like this core of the Knicks, if I'm being honest. I love this core, Dexter Henry. You talk about the Villanova Wildcat run wild, the bond that these three have in Hart, DiVincenzo, obviously the most underrated second-round draft pick in the history of all draft picks in the NBA, and Jalen Brunson. You've heard this stat many times thrown out there before, but it bears repeating. Jalen Brunson is the first guy since Michael Jeffrey Jordan to have 4 straight 39-point playoff performances, and he did it against the best 7 seed I can recall in my lifetime, because that's not a typical 7 seed. Joel Embiid, he was hurt for the majority of the season. They are 32-8 with him on the floor. So that is not a typical 7 seed that they played. And what's really impressive is that Knicks team, I mean, that was a gut-wrenching loss in Game 5.
Oh, yeah.
They had that wrapped, Dexter Henry.
I was in the building. Yeah, it was.
Good, by the way, on that profile pic you put out there from the building. You should be in more MSG buildings, although maybe not Game 5 because it didn't exactly bring us the mojo that we deserve.
Oh, you're blaming it on me?
I am. But here's
okay.
No, because you know what? What I didn't love about that, if I'm being honest, is you tweeted out, hey, listen, we lost, but it was a great experience. No, you lose in Game 5 to clinch. It's never a good experience.
No. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on
I'm taking little shots at you.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I said we lost, but I had a great experience doing
No one needs to hear that.
Doing my job.
Dexter, no one needs to hear that. We just lost Game 5.
Hey,
no one cares about your experience.
I care about my experience.
As a friend, I do, but we care about the Knicks losing Game 5. Yeah. That's just add insult to injury.
And you know what I did?
Yeah, it's ride or die.
And you know what I did for that experience for the people?
What'd you do?
For the people? I was out here reporting on that experience for you, bringing you the great insight, so you do care. Thank you very much.
I understand that, but we haven't won a title since 1973.
Understood.
We haven't been to the finals in 25 years, and you're talking about your experience after losing a heart-wrenching Game 5.
Listen,
we don't need that.
Hey, I'm trying to let the people know that even though the Knicks lost, I have joy and happiness in my heart.
Well, you know
Y'all can do the same.
Well, you know what? We should have listened to you because we took care of Game 6.
There you go.
Jalen Brunson on the road getting it done. I totally forget your question because
you love the core. Do you love this core? Do you like the future for this team?
Well,
you got so excited.
How can you not love the future of this team? Jalen Brunson, he ain't 30. Hart ain't 30. DiVincenzo ain't 30. Isaiah Hartenstein. It's Hartenstein, Stephen A. Smith. Just had to put that out there to him. The reality is none of these guys are even old. Like, this isn't the Milwaukee Bucks where they're averaging 30 years old. Like, this is a Knicks team that is young, they're hungry, and they're coming. And obviously, they don't have their second-best player in Julius Randle. Imagine what they are going to look like when they have that guy who we knew up until this season, he was always Mr. Reliable, Mr. Durable. I love the core of this Knicks team. I cannot be more excited. You can tell by my voice I am completely mundane about this Knicks team.
Well, there's never been a time you've come up on this set and sat with me, whether you were talking NBA or something else, that you didn't get excited. So I wouldn't expect anything less from you.
Can you do me a favor?
Yes.
When we're going against the Indiana Pacers and we lose, can you not say, despite the loss, we had a great experience? Can you not rub insult to injury, please? Thank you.
Listen,
thank you.
I enjoy every moment of life that I can. I try to do that. I suggest you do the same. It'll make everybody happy. You got to find the appreciation in the small things. That's good. Let's see if Dave appreciates this follow-up. Okay, Dave.
Yes.
So next up for the Knicks, you mentioned Pacers. And I'm going to enjoy that experience, just to let you know. They dropped the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round. And the Pacers and Knicks, as you know, they have a long playoff history. But this is the first time that these teams are going to face off in the postseason since 2013. So it's been over 10 years. Do you like the Knicks to win this matchup and advance to the Eastern Conference Finals, or no?
I do like the Knicks' chances for sure. Tom Thibodeau, he watches SNY, I'm sure, watches Dexter Henry. Listen, you have an individual in Miles Turner that likes to leak out and shoot threes. He went back-to-back 29 points. You have to guard him. You cannot sag off him. Thank you, Tibbs. I hope you're listening. I love the fact that you pump your own gas and you don't have a butler and chauffeur to do that for you. Man of the people. Now, the Knicks' advantage in this particular matchup is there is no one that can stand in front of Jalen Brunson. There is nobody that can box out Josh Hart. So they have the dogs. They have the tenacity. They have the energy. They have the heart. Okay? Literally, pun intended, with Josh Hart.
I see what you did there.
There you go. Now, if you were Indiana, Tyrese Halliburton, man, he's had some off nights in these playoffs. Like, you know, in-season tournament, he's all of a sudden the next guy in the NBA. I don't see him being that great. I'm not taking a Wally Zerbiak approach where he shouldn't be an all-star. But I will tell you, the Knicks have the best player in this series, and that usually bodes well for playoff teams. You are going to have Hartenstein be the defender of his life and be able to defend 25, 30 feet out because Miles Turner is going to get buckets from the outside. But I do love this Knicks in this matchup. Remember, they should have been playing Giannis in the Bucks. We dodged the bullet here.
There's a lot of we's here. You now all in with the Knicks, I see.
I have to be all in with the Knicks.
Okay.
I mean, did you see the Philly invasion?
I saw it.
I mean, talk about exuberance.
I'm surprised you
and
weren't
energy.
down there.
Well, I can't afford it right now, if I'm being honest.
They say the tickets down there were a lot more affordable. That's all I'm
See,
saying.
that's why I'm not enjoying my experience. Because I don't live the life and the luxury that Dexter Henry does. I'd be a lot more happy if I was.
Let's not go there.
Right,
it ain't quite that, but you can still enjoy the experience.
Right.
Prediction: Knicks gonna win the series?
Oh, in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
Knicks. So 4, 5.
So I had the Knicks in 6 against Philly. I was right on that. So I have the Knicks in 5.
Knicks in 5.
Yeah.
You heard it from David Shepard. I think he's enjoying his prediction and this experience. We hope.
I always am, Dexter Henry.
Okay. We hope he's enjoying this experience.
Next up, we got to talk about the New York Rangers. We're going to take it to the ice. They're going to continue their quest, Dave, for the Stanley Cup on Sunday when they open their second-round series with the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, the Blue Shirts, easy work. Disposed of the Washington Capitals in the first-round sweep, 4 games, but now they got to face a team that finished just 3 points behind them in the Metropolitan Division. So, whenever you do this, it's a step up in competition. With this step up in competition, what are you expecting the Rangers to be up against in this series?
This reminds me a little bit of Philly and the Knicks because despite the fact that they're second-round opponents, you know, there was such a close gap in the Eastern Conference. I mean, it really was. And so you have the Rangers, you know, they have a lot to prove because they were up 2-0 against the Devils. I'm sorry to bring this up, but you know that to be the case. And they should have won that series. And meanwhile, their rival who they're playing, you know, in the Hurricanes, we know that they made the Eastern Conference Finals last year. So this is not just about proving that the President's, you know, trophy is not a curse. This is about proving that they truly belong in contending for a Stanley Cup. And so with that being said, we understand they played each other 2 years ago, and it was the Rangers that got the better of Carolina. Now, Carolina recently, what have you done for me lately? They are the team that has made an Eastern Conference. And meanwhile, the Rangers, they were not able to even take advantage of a 2-0 lead in the first round and then end up losing in 7. And so the Rangers have an awful lot to prove. I am very excited for the series. You talk about 2 teams that win at home and on the road. So playing at MSG, we understand the gravitas that comes with that. Carolina, they couldn't care less.
Yeah, they're not going to be fazed by that. You know what, the Rangers fans that are watching this, you know they're mad at you right now. They're looking at you, Dave, and they're like, why you got to bring up old stuff, man? Why you go do that? They didn't want to hear about the 2-0 series lead that they blew to the Devils?
Should I bring up the Mark Messier guarantee in 1994 for Game 7?
That might make them feel better.
Well,
might make them enjoy this experience a little bit more.
Yeah, but the thing is, I also got to be realistic about it because, like, this is look. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, and I always am on this particular platform with you, Dexter Henry, like, my girlfriend is the biggest New York Rangers fan.
So she's ready for this.
Dexter, she plans her life around New York Rangers games. I'm not exaggerating. And I was trying to convince her that the Rangers, despite the fact that Carolina is going to be a tough opponent, despite the fact what they did to the Islanders, obviously, and they should have won that in 4, by the way. The Islanders got them in overtime. But the truth of the matter is, this is a very tough matchup for the Rangers. But the X factor is a guy named Vincent Trocheck.
That's going to be the X factor for you. Okay.
Yes.
So you said this is a very tough matchup.
Yes.
Of which I would agree. And the reason being is that the Hurricanes, they're a much better offensive team than the Capitals, right? And when it comes to goal scoring.
And I think so much of the focus is going to be on whether or not the Rangers can stop Carolina's attack. So
Sure.
the question here is, what do the Rangers have to do in order to weather the storm against the Hurricanes, pun intended there, with a lot of firepower in round two? What do they got to do here?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. So you did mention the fact, and I think that if I remember correctly, they allow 216 goals on the season. That's second best in the East. So we understand the Rangers are going to have to be very effective on the power play. But I mentioned the name Vincent Trocheck because he was unbelievable in the first round. They have to continue to ride his hot play. But they also have to tap into his acumen because as most people know, and I know you know this, Trocheck was not on the Rangers 2 years ago.
Right.
He was on the other team. So he was very good against the Rangers in that series when he also had 3 goals against Big Blue. So I'm not talking about Michigan, by the way. I'm talking about you Rangers fans. So the truth is they have to tap into that mind of his. You know, it's like I'm going to go NBA for a second. But the reason why the Lakers are talking about, Adelman as the replacement for Darvin Ham is because they know he knows the strategy and the keys to beating Denver. Well, Trocheck knows the key and the strategy to beating the Hurricanes. You have to rely on him more than ever. And Panarin, don't just be about making bread. Make about being goalie-oriented. So I'd like to see what that happens in terms of the Rangers. But I do have the Rangers ultimately prevailing in this series. I do think it's their time. I do.
Okay.
We're overdue.
What, you got a number of games? What are you going with?
It's going 7.
7. Rangers in 7.
Yeah.
Okay. Rangers in 7. There you go. Did you enjoy this hockey talking experience?
I did.
Okay.
Because
we don't want to hear about it. People don't want to hear about the good. No, I'm just messing with you.
Here's my takeaway, Dexter. And this is true for life. Like in all seriousness, like I give you a little bit of a hard time.
No, I'm giving you a hard time.
Even if you lost, gut wrenchers, up by 6 points, less than 30 seconds left. You don't give that game away. But you want to talk about your experience. But I will say, big picture, like you see the beauty beyond just the game, and I think that's important here. And I think for the Rangers, it's not exactly in my bread and basket, right? It's not exactly in my wheelhouse. So be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's the key to talking about hockey. Because you're going to have a lot of people right now for the next 2 months who pretended they watched the NHL for the last 6 months. That's not the case.
Uh-oh, Dave's out here calling out the frauds out here.
By the way,
yes,
Bruins. You can't collapse twice in a row.
Yeah, and that's not a good look.
Right.
Not a good look. Not a good look for them.
I'm gonna have to pretend when I do my show that I actually watched Bruins hockey for the last 6 months.
Oh, no, you're telling on yourself now.
I'm being honest.
I respect the honesty. I'm glad you enjoyed this.
Me too.
Segment as this experience. See, he can enjoy some experience.
Shout out Paul Bissonnette, by the way.
There we go.
Yeah.
We like it. All right, hockey talk that he actually enjoyed. Okay, let's take it to the Diamond, where things were not good down in Baltimore for the Yankees earlier this week because they dropped 3 out of 4 to the Orioles. They've now fallen out of first place. There was a big talk about the showdown in the AL East for the top of the division. So let me ask you this. Does losing the series, this is an early season series, you got to remember it's still early, have you thinking that maybe the Bronx Bombers aren't who we thought they were based on their play early on in the season?
I should know this at this point, Dexter. You're a Yankees fan?
I did not grow up a Yankees fan. That is incorrect.
Okay.
I don't know why you thought that.
Well, that explains this.
Okay.
You're just hating.
What?
That's what you're doing.
What?
Because the Yankees, last time I checked, I think they have 21 wins right now, right? At the very moment that we're speaking right now. That's second most in Major League Baseball. And you're talking about why the Yankees should have fear and why they should be anxious and why they should be worried. They're 1 win shy of the best win-loss record in all of baseball right now. They're 1 back of the Orioles in the most competitive league we have in all of baseball in the AL East. And you're finding fault and negativity and holes in the Yankees season.
I just asked a question.
I'm answering your question. No, there's no reason to panic and worry.
I didn't say panic and worry.
What'd you say?
I said I asked, is there a reason for us to think that they aren't who we thought they were?
Translation, you think there's a reason for Yankees fans to not have the confidence and the necessary,
Well, Yankee fans have never lacked for confidence. I think we know that.
Right, but here's my takeaway from the Yankees. You mentioned the beginning of the series, because I paid attention to the Yankees baseball. How can you not? 27 World Series. They swept Houston, in Houston. That's our arch nemesis. I got no fear in the Yankees. They have no reason to be concerned. They have no reason to be frazzled. It's the Yankees. Now, talk about facing Houston in the playoffs. That has been our bugaboo. That has been our hiccup. But I am not worried because they gave up a game and they're 1 back in mid-May.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying the baseball talking experience?
I actually am.
Okay,
you're just coming. I just feel like
I didn't say panic. I didn't say fear. I didn't say any of that.
I know, but instead of saying, if if I'm being honest.
Next time, do you want me to say, are you scared that the Yankees are going to be done?
If I'm being honest with you,
Okay.
Dexter, like you usually ask some really like pinpoint, accurate, very.
Oh, so you think I was
questions.
dancing around the question?
No,
here.
I just think it's a shot at Yankees fans. That's what I think
It
that
was
is.
not a shot
because,
at Yankees
Because
fans.
you're missing your ace, Garrett Cole. Now, recently it came out last
Understood.
24 hours that he's thrown off the mound. Can you imagine what the Yankees are going to be as an organization heading into October when the best weapon in all of baseball is on the mound in pinstripes in actual games?
Listen. This is a show where we talk about the 3 hottest topics in New York sports.
Get it.
People. And one of the hot questions of the week is maybe they weren't who we thought they were.
But you've been doing this long enough where you know the question should be, hey, the Yankees, they've been down, they're missing their star ace, and they're still in it in the AL East, and they're still in it in all of Major League Baseball. How impressed should you be with that? Instead, the question is, hey, they lost the game to the Orioles. Now they're one back.
No, excuse me. Let's get the facts right.
Fair.
3 out of 4 to the Orioles.
Fair.
The team that won the division last year.
Yeah, how'd that work out for them in the playoffs?
And I'm just saying, maybe you're not on the, maybe they might not, fans might think that they're not on the level.
I got Bruce Bochy on line 1 saying he ain't afraid of the Orioles. Nor should anybody be.
And you mentioned the Astros.
Yeah.
They're out here, they're 12-20.
I miss Dusty.
You probably do.
I miss Dusty.
Yeah,
Dusty Baker, by the way, for anyone who's saying, why does he miss Dusty? They know.
Yeah, let's make sure they know. Okay, keep it on the Yankees, right? Aaron Judge looked like he was starting to come out of it last weekend against Milwaukee, right? But since then, and not including Friday night's game, 1 for 13.
Right.
2 walks against the O's, right? In that series against the O's. It's only early, because I know you're going to say that. Well, Dex, it's early. I can't go too far. He struggled at the plate. There's no doubt about that.
Yes.
And there's going to be hopes from the Yankee fans that he can turn it around this month as we're in May. But, Dave, I got to ask you this. I know it's a little early, but are you concerned it could start getting early late, as I like to say, for the Yankees captain?
That's a good way to put it.
Is that a good question?
It is.
Okay, just making sure.
It is.
Okay.
It is a good question. So Aaron Judge to me can get hot at any time.
Oh, no doubt.
I think there's some injuries that he's not disclosing, that he's playing through, because I've never seen him look this anemic and inept at the plate. Now, with that being said, you brought up Milwaukee. At any time, he can be Aaron Judge again. He can be a guy that goes for multiple home runs, 5 RBIs, 5 hits. Now, he's batting 111 in the month of May, so that's looking like Aaron Judge at the beginning of this season, which is saying something. I don't have a crystal ball in front of me where I can tell you unequivocally, unwaveringly, that Aaron Judge is going to get out of this slump. I hope he does, because Aaron Judge, when he's on, there is not a better player in baseball not named healthy Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani. By the way, I'm glad that whole situation with the interpreter was resolved. That's for another day. I do not think that Aaron Judge is going to be 2022 Aaron Judge. Right.
Okay.
Those days are gone, because I don't think his body, being as big as it is, the guy's an Antonio Gates tight end out there, right, playing baseball, and he's got to get down and slide and field it. Guys like that at that height, he's 6'8", and I don't think that's generously listed. Like they don't last that long. They're not Tony Gwynn, Cal Ripken Jr., Derek Jeter playing until 40 years old, right? I don't see Aaron playing that long, and he got a late start too. But I do think there's some worry for. If you're a Yankees fan here, I do think there's reason for concern, but I do not think he's going to continue to bat 111 in the month of May.
All right, you think he'll turn things around. So no fear from you.
No.
Just making sure. That's a word you used before. Just making sure.
No fear.
No fear.
But
Okay.
but this is a flawed Yankees lineup, because they're relying on star power, big time contracts, but it's not about what's best for the team anymore with this franchise. It's just not. It's not about assembling the best roster. It's about getting the star power. The problem is, this is not a team. You look at Rizzo, you look at Judge, you look at Stanton. I mean, these guys are easily on the back 9 of their career. And that never bodes well for the New York Yankees. You want to get guys on the rise, not guys on the fall and the decline. And that's what the Yankees have turned into. They're not going to win a World Series with Aaron Judge. You heard it here first.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a statement.
I'm just being honest.
You're out here disappointing the Yankee fans. I'm also a little disappointed because you said that you don't have a crystal ball in front of you.
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought you were going to bring the crystal ball here. And when people say that, I do have a question for the people. Whenever somebody says, I don't have a crystal ball in front of me, does anybody ever have the crystal ball to then give them so they can, see the future?
Miss Cleo.
Miss Cleo.
She's got it. David Shepard don't.
We're probably dating ourselves with a Miss Cleo reference. Some of the young people are like, who's that?
Everyone knows the Miss Cleo.
I hope so.
Now listen, we talk about Dr. Ruth, then we're really aging ourselves.
That
Miss Cleo is a little more modern.
That might be true.
Yeah.
Well, that is David Shepard, one of the great host on the Infinity Sports Network who came here on the Rapid Rundown. But before we go, I got to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Because you brought this up from the top. You criticized me for saying that I enjoyed my experience as a reporter at The Guardian.
Tongue in cheek.
So now I'm going to ask you, did you enjoy your experience here on the New York Sports Rapid Rundown?
I always enjoy my experience with Dexter Henry on the Rapid Rundown.
Guys, this is a smart man, because if he didn't say that answer, I don't think he would ever be coming back. Just saying that. Not sure he'd be coming back again. But seriously, Dave, it's a pleasure. Always like having you in studio. Was glad to have you on the show because you know your stuff. You're so sharp. You're so witty. We always have fun. We can always joke with each other. We always have fun.
Always have fun, man. And you know what? Like sports, it should be fun. It shouldn't be taken too seriously.
No.
And I am glad, for the record, that you had a wonderful experience after giving up a 6-point lead with less than 30 seconds left at the Garden. Congratulations again on that, Dexter.
Hey, I was just talking about my reporting. But you know what, folks? He had a wonderful experience here. His name is David Shepard. Please check out his work. I had a wonderful experience, as I do every week on the show, with David and all my guests and the wonderful people I get to work with, the great producer Lee Ensler and my great director Brianna Musiciaka. Brianna, I hope I didn't mess up your name there. But I'm Dexter Henry. We'll be back next week with another episode of the New York Sports Rapid Rundown.